to understand what you're doing.
Yes. So, my name is Tania.
And I'm Fredrik, and we have a little discussion, argument, interview, everything today.
Whatever comes this way.
Yeah.
Yes. So, maybe we can start with defining social entrepreneurship. For me, social entrepreneurship come up to agenda 10 years ago in comparison with traditional entrepreneurship. And a lot of it was about creating value on local level for people who live in the area, who know each other and who want to do something together, not necessarily for maximizing of their profit. What's in it for you?
For me, I think about more the historical bit of this. Why now? How it has developed, how it can develop, what can it become, and the future of it. Because you have heard a lot about welfare, you have heard about volunteership, but not social entrepreneurial. So, can you describe for me what's different between volunteering and giving some money and this?
And this.
Yeah.
Okay, this.
and social entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I think the reason why social entrepreneurship sometimes described as this is because there is no clear idea or distinction between social entrepreneurship, conventional entrepreneurship, and in many occasions even charity. So in Sweden, for example, where we are now, this term came up in connection with the discussion about social innovation, where people start to realize that running business, traditional, thinking about maximizing your profits, extending your market, conquering basically new areas, is not really sustainable because it creates, if it creates plus on one side, then it creates minus somewhere else. And in Sweden, this discussions about outsourcing of jobs, creating lack of job on labor market, but also investing into businesses in other countries where people may be getting very low salaries. It has created a lot of public opinion about how business should or should not look. First, talking about social corporate responsibility, meaning that part of business should go into aware management of your profit given back to the society one way or another. And there it came into a lot into ideas of charity, like if we earn money, then we give some money back to whoever needs. So for companies, it became a matter of raising their public relation value. And from there, it come to discussion of, but are there any ways to run businesses in a different manner? Like, it created some kind of confusion. What is social responsibility? What is social business? And is social business the same as social entrepreneurship? And is social entrepreneurship is the same as social innovations? So there, I think this historical perspective, which you talked about, comes very well into picture.
You said it's a company that was first starting to think about charities, and then they're starting to think about, but is it sustainable just to give some money, or do you want to do something else? So what is social entrepreneurship? You said it's, can you define it, or can you define it?
I think the basic idea is that whether we're going to deal with money and to which extent. If we're talking about entrepreneurship without any extra words to it, then we're talking about creating something new from the resources which we have, putting them into some kind of junction or constellation where something new is being produced or starts acting, producing some value. So traditional entrepreneurship is about, okay, I've got an idea, let's try this, it will generate some profit. And then when I get this profit, I can decide what to do with it. We talked a little bit before about entrepreneurship versus business.
Mm.
And then we talked about entrepreneurship is about creating something new, and business is about proving whether this idea is going to work, how well and how long. So when we talk about conventional business, it worked very well, providing development of industrial countries and spreading technologies all over the world. 150 years later, we discovered that actual progress have a very, very dull backside in terms of environmental concerns, poverty, social segregation, and so on. So yeah, business worked, but for that long. And now we have to think if this business can be organized in a different way. That's where we come to. If before it was driven by money, by profit, by monetary values, is there a way to organize it in non-monetary values? And then we come back to, okay, which values, which resources do we have, which don't have to do directly with money, but which we can again organize into something new, in a new constellation, in a new process, which would lead to something new, and then again, for how long it will last.
So social entrepreneurship is still making some value, but not monetary value.
Yes.
So the value for the society, it is in.
Exactly, producing resources, utilizing resources, and producing new, either resources or services or products. But the thing is that even if we earn money with traditional productions, we don't eat money, we don't sleep on money, or some maybe do, I don't know. We don't cover ourselves with money, like quite useless covering yourself from rain. So we use money for something. So if we can use money as mediation tool for something, is it possible to take this component out of the system? Is it possible to see the resources which we need for our good living, good cooperation, to feel healthy both physically and mentally, to feel happy, satisfied? Is it possible to take out the mediation of money and connect these resources directly or indirectly? So social entrepreneurship is about seeing these parts, these components, breaking them down into components which can be evaluated, valued somehow, what kind of value it is, how this value can be exchanged, right? And how you can build it into a system which will be understood by people from different groups. Because we can sit here on the sofa and we can discuss, my coffee, like, are you thirsty? I have coffee. But for people outside, they have no idea what a cup of coffee is worth, right? They're maybe not thirsty, so it's worth nothing for them. So how can we make this value, which doesn't have to do with money, but with need, be understood and valued equally by different groups?
Yeah, because I was just thinking about the different things the company has to do. If you have a shareholder, they expect, or it's in the law, that you have to make money. And this is a different thing to think about, how you are making values, not money, but values. Everybody makes values, every company, but different kind of values. And in shareholder company, it's just money. Nothing else counts. And this is a different way of thinking, to make value for everybody or that's around.
There we come to, the question where, which many people ask themselves in different times of their lives: why am I here? What am I doing, right? And I wonder if this, like a somehow existential crisis, can be connected somehow to the production crisis, which we experience today, with, again, different levels of resources, different access, opportunities and possibilities, and so on. So when in Sweden, when you define between different kinds of companies, the main, absolutely most important separation thing is, why do you exist? Do you exist to earn money? Are you a commercial structure? Or do you exist for creating or serving some interest in the society, right? Are you an organization in business, or are you a non-profit organization, right? As a non-profit organization, like, why do you exist? Not to earn money, to serve some interest. You can still sell services, you can produce things, you can pay salaries, right? There's a very big misconception when around, for example, non-governmental sector, non-profit sector, saying that, yeah, but you can only get salaries because you're a non-profit sector. And there is a difference between your costs, like what you need to cover your cost, and what you get generating some profit. Non-profit means that we're covering our costs, but we're not generating something extra which could be put somewhere else. And there where social businesses come into picture. What happens if you, let's say you sell your services, you pay your salaries, but after that you still have some money left. What's going to happen? Well, if you have profit, then your organization for profit. No, say social businesses, this profit is going to be reinvested in the same organization. Again, for salaries, for increasing the cost, maybe developing the organization. Therefore, we're a social company, because if we have a profit, it's not going to be given to the shareholders. It's going to be invested.
Stay in the...
Exactly.
I think what you said about the different way of thinking. And I was thinking just because people that own shares, they make money, and they say, oh, I need money to make a difference, and then they make more money and they still don't make a difference, and they make more money and they just pile up money because we can see the super rich in the world. And maybe that's why this idea of why am I here, what have I done with the world as long as I've been here. So maybe that's a different way of thinking. Maybe I can make a company that doesn't just pile the money, but actually do something good for everybody.
I think we're just about to touch on a very sensitive issue of how people perceive other people with or without money. I would look back in history of Soviet Union, just the beginning of it is 100 years ago, where a huge process of hatred was settled among poor people towards people who had money. Because look, they have money and you don't. So they are bad, you're good. They become rich on your cost. What was missing in that discourse was how did this money were piled up, right? And they were usually piled up by a lot of work, by organization of many people working together, making the process more efficient, creating margins, and these margins were piling up. Right? So the process where people were employed, while being employed, they could provide their families could increase, more services could be created. It was absent. We didn't talk about it, right? We saw only the result. The result is much money. And this is very interesting, because I think that maybe the ground why we have so why charity becomes mixed up with social businesses so many times. Charity is when conventional business gives voluntarily some of its profit.
Or people.
You get richer somehow, unless you find a treasure. Still, you have to pay tax on that. So social business is when you resources which you have been handling were taken from the society and were creating effects on the society, right? In the process, some monetary resources could have been produced as well, but it was not the aim to maximize this profit. The aim was to increase all involved parts, to increase their welfare, or to increase their importance, or to increase their value, or even to understand their value. And then we actually come to another different and very interesting point, is understanding of the value.
Value is very, very hard to understand, because we have, as long as we invented money, we always use money as a value indicator for everything. Time is money, is one of those. My time, you pay for my time, you pay for this, and everything is valued in money. So of course it's it's very easy to just continue with that instead of thinking in a different way. So that's why a lot of people have very hard understanding social entrepreneurship, because everybody's but money, because we are so indoctrinated with just
which you can see here now.
Yeah, you can watch the books. Look, we have made profit. Now I can take the profit to give to shareholders or to other things. And that's one question that we had before, and it's, can you survive in today's society just with social entrepreneurship? But I think you've answered that a little bit with, it doesn't say that you can't take a salary. It just, you have to make other values for the society with the money, not the money, but the values you make.
I think it's a lot a matter, what are we talking about? Are we talking about survival, or are we talking about living and development?
Mm-hmm.
Because if our concern would be survival, we would not sit in a comfortable sofa in front of some technological piece here talking about understanding and awareness. We would not spend too much on philosophy. Our concerns would be completely different. Our horizon of needs, and therefore solutions for needs, would be very close.
Yeah.
Like here, I need to feed my children. I can sell this so I can get money, so I can buy food to my children. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what I can do today. And tomorrow, maybe I will do the same. There is no opportunity. So question is that when this amount of these horizons start to increase, right? When do you have space and ability not just to see what happens when you buy food or sell food? What is the effect that it creates on other people? A typical, as an example, is strikes. Okay, we have a company. It wants to save money, so let's say it cuts on the salaries. Yeah, you save money, which means your profit gets higher. Yay! Yeah. And what happens next? What effect it produces on people? First, people get unhappy because they don't have enough money maybe to feed their families. So first, maybe they start to steal. Second, they get sick. And third, maybe these people start to be aggressive. So maybe they end up troubles with the law, they get in jail, their families get poor, they have to ask for help. So it creates a lot of effects on society. But it's a further horizon. Are we able to see it or not? Because all this will be costs, and these costs can be calculated. How are we used to calculate them? Are we?
But we can always calculate, like you say, hard stuff. If you have to employ a judge, a police officer, police car, you can. That's money. You can just, here is how much it costs. Everything you can. So you can say for a criminal, you cost this much. But how much does it cost to make him not to become a criminal? That you can't calculate, because that's harder to say, because you don't know. And that's in this, that you're thinking before everything happens. How can you make the world better for everybody without just sitting and calculating money all the time?
Exactly, but this is the thing a little bit, where we people were cursed with intelligence. It created so much trouble through the years. And one of them is, I don't know. If I don't know, what am I doing? Either I learn and study, or I'm doing and see what happens. We didn't invest really in studying what would happen if, these horizons, what are the effects? If I pay very little salaries to that company where people work they will work anyway because they don't have choice, or else they will die, so I can use it.
We have tested. It has tested in a lot of countries involved. What happened to people when you're just living, as we call hand to mouth? Just I get my paycheck to paycheck, income low, and what happens to people there? And then, if you just set in police and don't care about social services, what happens? Then we need more police, and more police, and more police, because police can't solve the problem. They can just stop it after it happens.
Deal with the effects.
Yeah. So that's also what's the disease and what is the solution. And sometimes maybe you don't realize how much everything costs for society, because you can't see it. And that's the problem with all the politicians and everybody. Everybody wants to check, if I put this money into something, how much do I get out? Is it cheaper? If you don't know, we don't do anything. So I think this is very important to think in a different way.
I think you touch upon a very crucial word here, see. What I can see, I can believe, okay, I'm buying this. If I don't see, maybe not, I don't know, what do you think? Can you see it? No, I cannot see. Okay, sorry. I think it's a problem in many countries, especially in terms of politics. You react on what you see. And since you usually have a very short time to react, as a politician, you usually have a mandate, then you're more inclined to react with also visible measures. Those who have effect now, here now, like police, for example. If there is a social insecurities, then easy is to call services which would stop it. If coming back to metaphor of disease and the solution, solution for disease is cutting the head off. Okay, that will be solution. No more diseases. No, but that's not what we do, right? We try to cure it, and then we talk a lot about prevention, about healthy lifestyle, about take care of your body, take care of your environment, right? So when it comes to health, it's somehow clear and understandable. Yes, you have to, brush your teeth, don't take too much sugars, like exercise. It's logical. You have to, and then disease might never occur. It will never be a problem. But when it comes to organization of other part of our lives, with like our maintaining, earning money, we don't earn money again to eat them. We earn money to pay for food, to get house, to get warm, well, in Sweden at least, somewhere maybe to get cold. But if something is not working in the system, if social safety, security, for example, if I live in an area which I'm afraid to go out at night, of course I can pay myself out, I can hire a bodyguard. But it's not the bodyguard which I need. Maybe he's very handsome, maybe. But else, but else it's not the bodyguard. It's safety which I need, right? So other ways to see this need and to work for it, to prevent this social insecurity or lack of safety beforehand, to see that. So that's why we come to this invisible things.
Yeah, because when you say the invisible thing is, as soon as you make money, you buy a house, then you move away from the dangerous area, and then you don't see it anymore. So you're like hiding the disease or hiding the problem.
Not my problem.
Yeah, because I don't live there. I live somewhere else. I don't need to go there. Maybe I just wall it in, or make a wall to like protect, not to make the problem go away for real. Just like a band-aid on something like now it's fixed. No, it's not. But you can't see it. You can't see it. And that's also how do you see the problems if you don't look?
I think this coming back to what's entrepreneurship. I think a very important thing which we don't talk about that much because we get so into this profit thing is the courage. Entrepreneurship is a lot about courage. To step into something like leap of hope, right? I have no idea how it will finish, where it will lead. I have a sense, I have a feeling, I want to try, right? And this is something which it doesn't matter if it's social or conventional. Entrepreneurship is a matter of your character and your courage to take a step forward, to trust something which is invisible, to be changed by your effort, right? And I think that maybe this is a reason also why this is a topic which is so hard to get, to grip and do something about it, because somewhere we come to the line where we have to acknowledge that too scary, no. Right? Because in the end, we all have something to lose.
Yeah.
Many times, social change happens when there is nothing else to lose. How many stories do we have of people who become successful entrepreneurs or creators first when they were put in a condition when they were put in a corner, they had nothing else to lose, and then either they can go break the wall and go into, I don't know, criminality maybe outside of the system, or they start to create a new system. There we have actually a big problem, which is not maybe really a topic of a discussion, but I think it's very important to mention, is of our experience in working with young people. We have met entrepreneurship in terms of capacity to bet and invest your time and effort into structures in completely different sides, the sun side and the shadow side.
Yeah.
Many young people when we met who had some maybe past in criminality were bright entrepreneurs. The only problem with them in comparison with other people, other young people who become successful entrepreneurs appreciated by society, is they used different building materials.
Yep.
But they were equally good builders. And this, I think, is a big problem of ignoring, not investing. It's not ignoring, it's not investing into research around what makes people actually want to do things which they don't know the outcomes of. If we only go with, I'm sorry, just finish this. If we only go with the visible effects, and that's all money, how much can I get now, now, then we don't invest in all these resources, all capacity which society, especially young people, have in changing, creating, building new structures, because we don't trust they can do it. We don't know if they can. Maybe they cannot. Maybe they can.
Yeah.
Right?
When you said about the shadow and entrepreneurship, and you have to be in the corner. I have a friend that was in an area with a lot of criminality, and he knows a lot of the people that's selling things they shouldn't. But that's the only way to make money. So they're like trying to find ways to sell more. But then he got one of them a job. He found a job and and the day after, as he said, that there was like 20 of them that were selling, that wanted, can you get a job for me too? And that's how we can see that you're forced into some shadow places because there is no other alternative. And then you trying to become an entrepreneurship on the wrong side. So yeah, how many of those can maybe get some safety and then start something that you don't know, because they're forced into becoming an entrepreneurship in the wrong place.
And if you think like an entrepreneur, what's the first thing popping up your head? I bet it's young men.
Of course.
I think there is a reason why we have so many young guys run around trying to make something happen or ending up on this shadow side, because society expects of guys, boys, much more expected to prove that they were something, to show, to be very clear and visual about their success.
Yeah.
Right? You're a real man just when you have a girlfriend, as you get income. And how you get it is another thing. And there you're allowed to try, fail, try again, fail. It's completely different for girls. Isn't it?
Society is built on men is like judged of how much they make or how they do. Women are maybe not in that way. So the society has put different social structures on different people. So if you don't make money, then you're not worth anything as a man. And then how can I make money? I don't care how, just make.
Money now, soon, fast.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's maybe that pushes men to try earlier, but it doesn't stop women from doing it.
No, it doesn't stop. But if we come back to historical perspective, and if you compare men and women, if we say that we expect from men to show as soon as possible that they can provide themselves and people around them, but women don't have that pressure. At the same time as men in many countries enjoy much more freedom and much less expectation of being connected to your house, right?
Yep.
So traditionally they would be the ones who would be more free to travel, to try different things, to meet other people, travel abroad, like and this learning by doing within entrepreneurship. That way of business has got its roots, hold as traditional business. Because that's how you do business. You travel around, you meet people, you earn money. The more money, the more successful you are.
Get some idea and try it. But in that context, you can also say every time you make one entrepreneur that has succeeded, you have 5 that didn't.
5.
Yeah, 10.